For decades, Tony Beets pulled millions in gold from the frozen Yukon, but last season, his dredge unearthed something that stopped him in his tracks. Buried beneath Indian River's gravel was a discovery so deliberate and well hidden, it triggered international investigations and could expose secrets the Canadian government thought lost forever. The anomaly first appeared on routine radar scans in August 2023. 60 feet beneath the waterline, the readings revealed regular, rectangular voids, geometric patterns that couldn't be natural. Initial skepticism turned to alarm as multiple radar units and independent consultants confirmed the findings. Excavating cautiously, Tony's crew uncovered a concealed underground facility, forcing authorities to suspend his operation immediately. Tony had built his empire from scratch after arriving from the Netherlands in 1980, turning abandoned claims into profitable dredging operations. His family-run Beets empire, documented on television, thrived despite harsh conditions and regulatory scrutiny, relying on skill, ingenuity, and relentless persistence. The underground structure was unlike anything seen in Yukon history. 6 concrete chambers, carbon-dated to the 1950s, with thick walls and evidence of carefully concealed construction. Empty now, the chambers had bolt holes and mounting points suggesting heavy equipment or sensitive contents once occupied the space. The effort required to hide it hinted at government-level resources, or something even more mysterious. The facility's ventilation system was far more sophisticated than normal storage would require, hinting that the chambers once held sensitive materials or equipment needing precise atmospheric control. Most puzzling was its location, beneath gold-bearing gravel that wouldn't be mined for decades. Whether the placement was coincidence or deliberate remains unclear, though investigators leaned toward chance, given the difficulty of predicting future mining activity. The access tunnel had been deliberately collapsed and filled, leaving no trace until Tony's crew breached the chambers from above. Inside, water-damaged documents bore Canadian government seals and referenced Operation Northern Vault. Federal authorities immediately declared the site off-limits, sparking a tense legal battle with Tony over mining rights. Expanded radar surveys suggested the 6 chambers were part of a much larger underground complex, threatening to halt his entire operation. Historical research pointed to Klaus Vandenberg, a secretive German prospector who arrived in 1948 and vanished mysteriously in 1952. He sold gold discreetly, never filed claims, and claimed wealth that rivaled Klondike legends. At the time, his boasts were dismissed, but now they hinted at something extraordinary. Vandenberg's disappearance coincided almost exactly with the facility's construction. Letters he sent in 1952 warned of secret activities in the Yukon, dismissed then as delusion, but now read like genuine alerts from someone who had stumbled upon a classified installation. Emerging declassified documents deepened the mystery further. Surviving documents suggested Canadian authorities had monitored Vandenberg, treating his claims seriously and viewing him as a potential threat due to knowledge of a classified installation. Yet, the records ended abruptly. No arrest, no resolution, hinting at intervention. Tony's discovery now threatened to reveal more than a Cold War facility. It reopened questions about Vandenberg's fate, suggesting the underground complex could be tied to his disappearance, turning the site into a potential crime scene. Legal and political stakes soared. Federal authorities cited national security, the territorial government invoked historical preservation, and indigenous groups demanded consultation, freezing Tony's mining indefinitely. He fought back, arguing the discovery was on legally permitted land and that retroactive secrecy threatened miners' rights. The federal response was uncompromising. The investigation was classified, Tony was forbidden to speak publicly, and critical documents were withheld, leaving his legal team at a severe disadvantage. The fallout reached Gold Rush, as producers were barred from airing footage. Storylines were rewritten with vague permit delays, frustrating viewers and isolating Tony from public support. International complications followed. Germany pressed questions about Vandenberg, a German national linked to the facility, adding a diplomatic layer to an already tangled legal battle. Environmental groups sued to halt mining, citing preservation laws, while Tony argued the installation was a decades-old government project, not an indigenous site. and any legal violation had been committed long before he arrived. Financial losses were immediate. Mining suspended at peak season, hundreds of thousands in gold lost, legal fees mounting, and Tony facing the reality that his decades-long empire and the legacy he hoped to pass to his children was at risk. Investigations eventually confirmed the facility's purpose, a Cold War-era strategic materials cache designed to support military operations in case of a Soviet invasion through Alaska and northwestern Canada. What began as a routine mining season had become a battle over history, law, and the limits of state power, threatening to consume everything Tony had built. Operation Northern Vault was a 1950s Canadian-American project to pre-position supplies, weapons, and possibly cash in remote locations in case of a Soviet invasion. Dozens of facilities were built, most later decommissioned and documented, but this one was forgotten, its records lost. Only modern radar allowed Tony to detect it beneath decades of gravel. The chambers had long been emptied, leaving only fragments of documentation. Klaus Vandenberg likely discovered the site in 1952, and his attempts to exploit it for profit or publicity appear to have triggered a Cold War-era response that cost him his life. For Tony, the ordeal reinforced his blunt philosophy. Some secrets are better left buried. He lost a season, spent a fortune on lawyers, and had his operation disrupted, all because bureaucrats couldn't account for a long-forgotten Cold War facility. Today, the Indian River still produces gold for Tony's Dredge, but his approach has changed. Radar operators now ignore anomalies that aren't clearly bedrock or gold-bearing gravel. He's in the gold business, not archaeology. If you loved learning about the iconic stars of old Hollywood, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes stories, trivia, and all things vintage glam. Join the conversation in the comments below. Who's your favorite old Hollywood celebrity and why? Make sure to ring the bell so you never miss a new video on the golden era of cinema.